Welcome to Love Lies Chronicles.
I'd love to know what you think. Every comment helps me make the next story better. Subscribe to stay tuned. 6 months. That's how long my wife had been casually dropping her ex-boyfriend's name into conversations. 6 months of Brad always remembered to and Brad used to, and my personal favorite, Brad never had a problem with. It started innocent enough. A comment here, a memory there. I brushed it off because I'm a secure guy, right? Mature enough not to get jealous over some ex she dated years ago. But then it kept happening. More frequently. More pointed. Brad always brought me flowers on random days, not just special occasions. Brad was really handy. He could fix anything around the house. Brad made time for date nights every week without me having to ask. Brad's family was so welcoming and warm. At first, I tried harder. Bought flowers randomly. Watched DIY videos at midnight trying to fix that leaky faucet. Planned elaborate date nights. Each effort got a lukewarm "that's nice," or worse, a comparison. Brad used to do this thing where he'd surprise me with weekend trips. The comments shifted around month 3. Got sharper. During dinner with her friends, she said Jordan's great and all, but Brad was so romantic, like movie-level romantic. I was sitting right there. Her friends looked uncomfortable. I smiled and changed the subject. After I spent 2 hours cooking dinner one Saturday, she said Brad was an amazing cook. He made this pasta dish that was just incredible. I put my fork down and asked if she enjoyed the meal. She said it was fine. We argued about household chores, and she said Brad always cleaned up after himself. I never had to ask. I pointed out I'd just finished cleaning the entire kitchen. She rolled her eyes. I started noticing the pattern. Whenever she was annoyed with me or wanted something, out came Brad the perfect. Every disappointment triggered a comparison. Week 24, I tried planning our anniversary trip. She said that's thoughtful, but Brad took me to Napa Valley for our anniversary. We did the whole wine tour thing. I felt that one in my chest. Later that day, I was fixing the bathroom sink. She walked by and said, Brad would have had this done in 10 minutes. Sunday night, we were watching a movie. A romantic scene came on, and she actually sighed. Brad was really good at grand gestures. He made me feel like I was in a romance novel. I muted the TV. You mention him a lot, right? She looked at me like I'd said something crazy. What? No, I don't. I barely talk about him. You've mentioned him at least a dozen times this week. You're keeping count? That's weird, Jordan. She got up and walked away. Conversation over. Monday evening, I came home after a brutal day at work. She was on the couch, scrolling through her phone. I tried to talk about my day. She was barely listening. I mentioned a colleague complimented my presentation. She didn't look up. That's nice. Brad's colleagues loved him. He got promoted twice in 3 years. Something clicked in my head. Not anger. Clarity. I sat down across from her. Why did you marry me? She finally looked up, confused. What kind of question is that? A serious one. If Brad was so great at everything, why aren't you with him? Don't be dramatic. I'm just making conversation. No, you're making comparisons. Constant comparisons. And I'm always coming up short. You're being sensitive. I'm allowed to talk about my past. Talk about it, sure. But you don't talk about it. You weaponize it. Every time you want me to do something different, every time you're annoyed with me, out comes Brad the perfect. Her face hardened. Maybe if you paid attention to what I'm saying, you'd understand what I actually need in a relationship. What you need, or what Brad gave you. You know what? Yes, Brad understood things without me having to spell them out. He was intuitive. He was thoughtful. He made me feel special. I spoke very quietly. So why did you marry me? She was frustrated now, not thinking. Because he wasn't ready for commitment, and you were. Happy now? The room went silent. She realized what she'd said a second too late. Wait, that came out wrong. No, it came out exactly right. You settled for me. You married me because I was available and ready, not because you actually chose me. That's not what I meant. I stood up. You've been telling me for 6 months that I'm not Brad, that I don't measure up, that your ex was better at literally everything. And now I know why. Because in your mind, he was the one you wanted, and I was the one who wanted you. I went upstairs without another word. She called after me. Don't walk away from me. We're not done talking. But we were done. I sat on the edge of our bed staring at the wall. The sentence kept playing in my head. Because he wasn't ready for commitment, and you were. I wasn't angry anymore. Just done. Done competing with a ghost. Done begging for scraps of appreciation. She came upstairs 20 minutes later, acting like nothing happened. Are you seriously going to sulk about this? I'm not sulking. I'm thinking. About what? About how I've spent 5 years trying to be good enough for someone who never thought I was. I never said you weren't good enough. You say it every time you mention Brad. Every comparison is a reminder that I'm not him. You're twisting my words. I was just frustrated. Frustrated that you married the wrong guy. She paused. That's not fair. No, what's not fair is marrying someone you see as a consolation prize. Tuesday morning, I woke up before her. Strange sense of peace. I knew exactly what I needed to do. I made coffee, and she came down acting normal, like our conversation never happened. Do you want pancakes? No thanks. Are you still upset about yesterday? Not upset. Just clear. Clear about what? About what our marriage actually is. She rolled her eyes. Here we go again. I looked at her calmly. Sounds like you picked the wrong guy. Let me fix that for you. She stopped. What? You've been telling me for 6 months that Brad was better. You told me last night you married me because I was ready and he wasn't. So clearly, you picked the wrong guy. I'm going to fix that for you. She actually laughed. What are you talking about? Are you threatening to leave me? Not threatening. Informing. She was still amused. Oh, please. You're not going anywhere. You're just being dramatic because your feelings are hurt. You're right that my feelings are hurt. But I'm still going to fix your Brad problem. My Brad problem? You're ridiculous. Go cool off. I left for work without another word. During my lunch break, I called Andrew Winters, a lawyer my friend Kyle recommended. How long have you been married? 5 years. Any children? No. Joint assets? House is in both names, but I paid 80% of the down payment. Most other assets are separate. What's prompting this? My wife made it clear I'm her second choice. I'm done being a backup plan. I'll be there at 9 tomorrow morning. I opened a separate bank account that afternoon, transferred my earnings, reviewed our joint account, and realized my direct deposits were the primary income. Made a mental list of what was mine versus ours. That evening she was in her usual spot on the couch. How was work? Productive. She'd clearly moved on from this morning. I was thinking we could order Thai food tonight. Go ahead. I'm not hungry. Are you seriously still pouting? I sat in the chair across from her, not next to her. Not pouting. Just thinking about how Brad probably loved Thai food. Her eyes narrowed. That's not funny. Wasn't trying to be funny. Just following your conversational pattern. You're being petty. Interesting. When you do it, it's just making conversation. When I do it, it's petty. She tossed the remote down. What do you want from me? Nothing. That's the point. I don't want anything from you anymore. What's that supposed to mean? Exactly what it sounds like. Wednesday morning I met Andrew at his office at 9. Reviewed paperwork, signed documents. I'm filing this today, he said. She'll be served within 48 hours. Perfect. You seem very certain about this. I am. She's been telling me for 6 months I'm not good enough. Last night, she told me she married me because I was available. I'm just finally listening to her. Paperwork filed by 10:30. I went to work feeling lighter than I had in months. A colleague asked if I was okay. Better than I've been in a while. That evening she was making dinner when I got home. Where have you been? You're late. Had some things to take care of. What things? Personal business. I took my plate to the home office to eat alone. She followed me. Are you going to eat alone now? This is childish, Jordan. If you say so. How long are you going to keep this up? Keep what up? This cold shoulder thing. This punishment. I'm not punishing you. I'm just done competing. Competing with who? With Brad. With the version of yourself that was with Brad. With the fantasy you've been living in for 6 months. I wasn't comparing. I interrupted her. Stephanie, you told me you married me because I was ready and Brad wasn't. That's not a comparison. That's a confession. Thursday morning while she showered, I gathered important documents. Birth certificate, passport, financial records, insurance papers. Put them in my briefcase, took them to my car. That evening she tried a different approach. Dressed nicely, made my favorite dinner. I thought we could have a nice evening together. Why? Because we're married and I miss my husband. Which husband? The one you have or the one you wanted? She slammed the spatula down. Are you ever going to let that go? Let what go? The truth about how you feel about our marriage? I was upset. People say things when they're upset. They say what they've been thinking. You've been thinking I'm not Brad for our entire marriage. That's not true. Then why do you mention him constantly? She went quiet. Friday morning, 5:30. I woke before my alarm. Stephanie still asleep. I moved through the house like I'd rehearsed. 2 duffel bags. Clothes for 2 weeks. Laptop, chargers, toiletries. My grandfather's watch. The signed jersey from college. Photo albums from before the marriage. Important tools from the garage. Everything loaded in my car by 6:15. I left a note on the kitchen counter. You wanted Brad's qualities. I'm giving you the space to appreciate them without my inadequate presence. Papers are being served today. I drove to Kyle's apartment in Belltown. He answered the door. You actually did it. I actually did it. How do you feel? Relieved. I set up in his guest room and turned off my phone. I wanted her to discover my absence naturally. Around noon, I turned it back on. 17 missed calls. 12 text messages. First text, 8:47. Jordan, where are you? Your note doesn't make sense. 9:15. Seriously, where did you go? This isn't funny. 10:30. Answer your phone now. Then the calls got more frequent. By evening, I had 47 missed calls and 23 messages. The tone shifted through the afternoon. You can't just leave without talking about this. This is childish. By evening, they changed. I'm scared. Where are you staying? Please just let me know you're okay. But she never once said she was wrong. Never apologized for the comparison. Never acknowledged that ranking our marriage against her ex was hurtful. Kyle noticed me checking my phone. She freaking out. Progressing through the stages. Right now, we're between anger and bargaining. You going to respond? Not yet. She needs to understand this isn't a negotiation. This is a consequence. Saturday afternoon, she showed up at Kyle's place. I watched from the window as she pounded on the door. Kyle answered. I could hear her voice from upstairs. I know he's here. I need to talk to him. He doesn't want to talk to you right now. He's my husband, and you're the reason he's here instead of at home. She stood on the porch for 20 minutes, alternating between yelling and calling my phone. Finally, she left, shouting loud enough for the neighborhood to hear. This is ridiculous. You can't hide forever. Sunday was quieter. Only a few calls. Either she was regrouping or starting to accept I wasn't coming back just because she demanded it. Monday morning, the doorbell rang at our house. Process server. Stephanie Matthews? Yes. You've been served. She opened the envelope. Divorce papers. Filed 2 days ago. Her hands started trembling. This was real. The messages changed. 10:37. I just got divorce papers. Divorce papers. What the hell, Jordan? You can't be serious about this. This is insane. You're being insane. 11:20. Please just talk to me. We can work this out. 11:50. I'm sorry about what I said, okay? I was just frustrated. But she still hadn't actually apologized. She'd explained, justified, minimized, blamed. Never once said I'm sorry for comparing our marriage to my ex. Tuesday night. She tried calling from her sister's phone. I let it go to voicemail. I know you're ignoring my calls, but this is getting out of hand. I talked to my sister about what happened, and she thinks you're overreacting. We all say things we don't mean when we're frustrated. I said I was sorry. Except she hadn't. By Thursday, the messages became desperate. It's been a week. A week. You've made your point. Now please come home. I can't eat. I can't sleep. I can't focus on anything. Whatever you want me to say, I'll say it. Whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. Friday morning, exactly 1 week after I left, her sister Rachel called. She's losing her mind. She hasn't slept in 3 days. She's calling in sick to work. She sits in your house crying and staring at that note you left. Good morning to you too. Don't be sarcastic with me. Do you have any idea what you've done to her? I've given her exactly what she wanted. Space to feel undemanding. That's not what she wanted, and you know it. Actually, that's exactly what she said she wanted. She said I was too needy. She said her ex never made her feel unappreciated like I did. So I removed myself from the equation. She didn't mean it like that. How did she mean it? Silence. Then, she was just frustrated. And when people are frustrated, they say what they really think. She really thinks her ex was better at making her feel appreciated than her husband is. So now she's free to appreciate that memory without my needy interference. You're being cruel. I'm being honest. There's a difference. Rachel tried another approach. Look, she knows she messed up. She's been beating herself up about it all week. Has she? Because in all the messages she's sent, she's never once apologized for what she said. She's explained it, justified it, minimized it, but never said I'm sorry for comparing our marriage to my previous relationship. She's scared you won't forgive her. She should be more scared that she meant what she said. Saturday afternoon, she tried something new. Showed up at every place she thought I might be. The gym, the sports bar, the bookstore. Kyle's neighbor called around too. There's a woman sitting in a car outside your house. She's been there for 3 hours. I looked out the window. Her car parked across the street. Just sitting there, waiting. How long you think she'll stay? Kyle asked. until she realizes I'm not coming out. She stayed until almost midnight, just sitting in her car, occasionally walking around the block, then getting back into wait. Sunday morning I decided it was time. Sent one word. Stop. Within seconds my phone rang. Thank God you answered. We need to talk. No, we don't. Yes, we do. You can't just throw away 5 years of marriage over one argument. This wasn't an argument. Arguments are between equals. This was you telling me exactly how you feel about our relationship. I was wrong. I know I was wrong. Wrong about what? About what I said. About comparing you to him. So you didn't mean it. Pause. I meant it at the time, but I was angry and... Stop. You meant it at the time. That's all I need to know. People say things they don't mean when they're upset. No. They say things they usually keep to themselves. You've been thinking about your ex and how he made you feel compared to how I make you feel. You've been keeping score and I've been losing. That's not true. Then why did you say it? Another pause. Longer. I don't know. You do know. You just don't want to admit it. Fine. Maybe I have thought about it sometimes. But that doesn't mean I don't love you. There it was. The truth she'd been dancing around. Thank you for being honest. So you'll come home now? No. Why not? I told you the truth. The truth is exactly why I'm not coming home. You love me, but you don't appreciate me. You love me, but you think someone else was better at making you feel valued. You love me, but you wish I was more like him. I never said that. You didn't have to. It was implied in everything you did say. She started crying. I can't lose you over this. I can't lose us. You already did. The moment you decided our marriage was worth less than your memories of someone else. But I choose you. I married you. You settled for me. After realizing he wasn't coming back, you settled for what you could get. And for 5 years I was grateful to be chosen. But I'm done being grateful for scraps. That's not how it was. How was it then? Silence. Exactly. I hung up. Within an hour I had 14 missed calls and a string of texts. I can change. I'll never mention him again. We can go to counseling. I'll do whatever you want. Please don't give up on us. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The apology finally came, buried in desperate text messages. But sorry doesn't undo the revelation that your spouse has been mentally comparing you to their ex for years. Monday morning she showed up at my workplace. The receptionist called. There's a Stephanie Matthews here to see you. Tell her I'm unavailable. 5 minutes later. She's insisting. She's quite upset. I called security and walked to the lobby. She was there, mascara smudged, clearly hadn't slept. Jordan, please. You need to leave. I just need 5 minutes. No. I'm your wife. You're the woman I'm divorcing. There's a difference. She reached for me. I stepped back. Don't do this here. Don't embarrass me like this. Embarrass you? You've been embarrassing me for 6 months. Every time you told your friends about Brad. Every time you compared me to him in public. Every time you made it clear I wasn't good enough. People started staring. Security approached. Sir, is there a problem? Yes. She needs to leave. Her eyes widened. You're having me removed? You're not welcome here. I'm your wife. Not for long. Security escorted her out. She was crying, calling my name. I walked back to the elevator. A colleague stopped me. You okay? Fine. Just taking out the trash. Tuesday morning her texts started early. I saw a therapist yesterday. She says I have abandonment issues from my dad leaving. She says I was projecting unresolved feelings onto you. I'm working on myself. I'm trying to understand why I did this. Now she had abandonment issues. Now she was in therapy. That afternoon I met my friend Dean for coffee at Victrola in Capitol Hill. Dude, Stephanie is telling everyone you left her out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. She's saying you had one fight and filed for divorce. I took a breath. We had one fight where she told me she married me because I was available and Brad wasn't. After 6 months of constantly comparing me to him. Dean's eyes widened. She said that? Word for word. Jesus. Sarah texted me asking if you were okay. She's worried Stephanie might do something drastic. That's unfortunate. But it's not my responsibility anymore. Dean studied me. You're different. Colder. More resolved. I'm just done pretending. Pretending what? That I was ever going to be good enough for someone who didn't want me in the first place. Wednesday afternoon, I needed more belongings from the house. Confirmed Stephanie was at her mother's. Went to our place in Fremont. Walked in. 5 years of my life in these walls. Didn't feel like home anymore. I packed systematically. More clothes. Books. Vinyl collection. The coffee maker I bought. Photos of my family without her in them. My grandmother's quilt. Loaded the car. Left my keys on the counter. Walked out without looking back. For 15, She discovered it. Text messages flooded in. You were at the house. You took more stuff. You took the coffee maker, the one we picked out together. You took your records, all of them. This is really happening. You're really leaving. I keep hoping I'll wake up, and this is just a nightmare. The house feels so empty. I saw you took down your family photos. Seeing the blank spaces made it real. I'm sitting in your office. Your desk is empty. Your bookshelf is empty. I found the spare key you left. You're not coming back. Thursday morning, both Patricia and Rachel showed up at Kyle's. Can we come in? I gave them 5 minutes. Patricia looked tired. She's not well, Jordan. She's really not well. I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry. That's all you have to say? What would you like me to say? Rachel leaned forward. That you'll consider counseling. Consider trying. There's nothing to try for. Patricia's voice rose. She knows she was wrong about the Brad comments. Does she? Or does she know she got caught? Rachel tried next. She's genuinely sorry. I'm sure she's sorry she's getting divorced. I'm less sure she's sorry about what she actually did. Patricia stood. What do you want from her? Bloodletting? Public humiliation? I want nothing from her. That's what you don't understand. I don't want an apology. I don't want promises. I don't want counseling. I just want out. Rachel's voice cracked. Because of some comments about an ex? My voice hardened. Because she told me she married me because her first choice wasn't available. That's not some comments. That's the truth about our entire marriage. Patricia tried once more. She didn't mean it that way. Then how did she mean it? Explain to me another way to interpret Brad wasn't ready for commitment, and you were. Both women went silent. You can't. Because there is no other way to interpret it. Patricia reached for her purse. People make mistakes. That wasn't a mistake. That was a revelation. And I'm grateful for it. Because now I know I spent 5 years married to someone who never actually chose me. Rachel had tears in her eyes. She chose you. She married you. She settled for me. And I'm done being settled for. That evening I met Dean, Mike, and Alex for drinks at Flatstick Pub. Sarah arrived late. Saw Stephanie last week. Everyone looked at her. How is she? Lost weight. Looks tired. Said she's in therapy twice a week. Good for her. She asked about you. What did you tell her? That you're doing well. Moving on. I nodded. I am. Friday morning marked exactly 1 week since she got the papers. Her text came early. It's been 1 week. 1 week since you left. 1 week since my life fell apart. I don't recognize myself anymore. I can't eat. Can't sleep. Can't think about anything but you. I know what I said was wrong. I know I hurt you. But doesn't 5 years mean anything? Doesn't our wedding vows mean anything? For better or worse. In sickness and health. We promised forever. You're breaking that promise. How is that fair? I responded. You broke the promise first. Every time you wished I was someone else. 8:05. I never wished you were someone else. Yes, you did. You just finally said it out loud. 8:06. Please can we meet? Face to face? Just talk? No. Why not? Because there's nothing left to say. 8:10. There's everything to say. I love you. I miss you. I'm sorry. Doesn't that matter? It matters. It just doesn't change anything. 8:15. Then what will change things? Nothing. That's the point. Rachel texted me that afternoon. You should know. Brad reached out to Stephanie. And she told him to leave her alone. Said she's married and loves her husband. Ironic. She's desperate to prove to you that she wants you, not him. Too little too late. I know. I'm just telling you. She turned him down. Good for her. Doesn't that mean anything? It means she doesn't want to be alone. Not that she actually wants me. Saturday morning, she showed up at Kyle's apartment again. This time she got past the main door by following another resident. Knocked hard on the door. Kyle opened it. Stephanie, you can't be here. I need to see him. He doesn't want to see you. Jordan. She yelled past Kyle. I appeared. You need to leave. Not until you talk to me. Really talk to me. We're done talking. No, we're not. You don't get to make that decision alone. Actually, I do. That's how divorce works. She pushed past Kyle into the apartment. Both of us were shocked. Stephanie, Kyle started. No. I'm done being shut out. I'm done being ignored. I'm done with this silent treatment. I stayed coldly calm. You have 60 seconds before I call the police. Call them. I don't care. I need you to hear me. I've heard you. For 6 months. I heard you perfectly. No, you heard what you wanted to hear. You twisted my words. I laughed without humor. I twisted your words? You said Brad wasn't ready for commitment, and I was. You said Brad was more romantic, more handy, better at cooking, better career, better family. You said he understood things you had to spell out for me. Which words did I twist? Her face crumbled. I was frustrated. So you said what you really think. That's not fair. What's not fair is marrying someone while wishing they were someone else. She was desperate now. Fine. Fine. You want the whole truth? I did think about Brad sometimes. I did compare you. Because when things got hard, I wondered if I'd made the right choice. There it is. But I did make the right choice. I know that now. You only know that now because he came back and you realized he's not the fantasy you built up. She stopped. How did you know he reached out? Rachel told me. You turned him down. Good for you. I turned him down because I love you. No. You turned him down because he proved he's not actually perfect. And because I'm not around to compare him to anymore. That's not true. Stephanie, if I came back, how long before you started comparing me to him again? A month? 6 months? A year? How long before I did something that made you think Brad would have done this better? She was crying. I wouldn't. I've learned my lesson. You learn not to say it out loud. That's different from not thinking it. How do you know what I'll think? Because you spent 5 years thinking it. People don't just turn that off. I sat down and looked at her. Let me ask you something. When you think about our best moments together, our happiest times, what do you feel? I feel happy, loved, safe. Do you ever think about how Brad would have made those moments better? She opened her mouth, closed it. Silence. That's what I thought. Sometimes. But Jordan, sometimes is enough. Because I deserve someone who doesn't have sometimes where they wish I was someone else. Everyone has doubts in marriage. Doubts about decisions, yeah. Doubts about whether you picked the right person, sure. But you don't have doubts. You have regrets. You regret that Brad wasn't ready and I was. You regret that you had to choose between available and ideal. And you chose available. You chose me. I chose you because I loved you. You chose me because I was there and he wasn't. Love came after. Or tried to. She sank to the floor crying. What do you want me to say? That I was wrong. I was wrong. That I hurt you? I hurt you. That I'm sorry? I'm sorry. What else is there? Nothing. There's nothing else. Because sorry doesn't undo 5 years of being second place. I'll never mention him again. I believe you. But you'll still think about him when I disappoint you. No, I won't. Stephanie, be honest. If I asked you right now to tell me 3 things Brad did better than me, could you answer? She was quiet. Could you? Barely a whisper. Yes. That's the problem. After everything, after all this, you can still immediately think of ways he's better than me. But I can also think of ways you're better than him. I don't want to be in a competition. I don't want to be compared. I just want to be enough. You are enough. No. I'm adequate. I'm sufficient. I'm good enough. But I'm not what you actually wanted. You're what I have. And I want what I have. Now you do. Because you're about to lose it. But for 5 years you took me for granted while fantasizing about your ex. She stood, wobbly. So that's it. No matter what I say, no matter what I do, you're done? I'm done. Just like that. Not just like that. I spent 6 months being slowly told I wasn't good enough. I spent 1 night learning I was your backup plan. I spent 1 week realizing I'd been competing with a ghost our entire marriage. So no, not just like that. The truth is I love you. The truth is you love the idea of me. The stability I provide. The husband role I fill. But you don't love me. You love that you're not alone. And I'm done being better than nothing. Kyle stepped forward. Stephanie, you need to leave. She looked at me one more time. Is this really what you want? It's what you taught me to want. Freedom from comparison. Freedom from being someone's consolation prize. I never. You did. Every time you mentioned him. Every time you sighed when I did something differently than he would have. Every time you got that look on your face like you were doing mental math about whether you made the right choice. You taught me exactly how you see me. And I finally learned the lesson. She walked to the door. Stopped. Turned. I'll regret this for the rest of my life. You'll regret losing me. Not the same as wishing you'd never compared me. She left. Kyle locked the door behind her. You okay? Yeah. Actually, I am. That was brutal. It needed to be. She needed to understand that sorry doesn't fix everything. Think she got the message? I think she finally understands I'm serious. That evening the final text came. 8. I'm sorry for showing up uninvited. 8:30. You were right about everything. I did compare you. I did think about Brad too much. I did take you for granted. 9. But I'm going to fix myself. Go to therapy. Work on my issues. And maybe someday you'll see that I can be the wife you deserved. 9:30. I'm not asking you to wait for me. I'm just asking you to know that I'm going to become better because of what I lost. 10. Thank you for 5 years. Even if I didn't appreciate them like I should have. They were the best years of my life. 10:30. Goodbye, Jordan. I hope you find someone who chooses you first. I read them all. Didn't respond. Blocked her number. 3 weeks later we had the hearing. Uncontested divorce. Stephanie was there with her lawyer. We didn't make eye contact. The judge reviewed paperwork. Mrs. Matthews, do you contest these proceedings? Her voice was small. No, Your Honor. Mr. Matthews, you're certain about this dissolution? Yes, Your Honor. Very well. I hereby grant the divorce decree. Gavel. Done. 5 years over in 10 minutes. We left through different doors. 1 month later, I found my own apartment in Ballard. 1 bedroom, water view. Started fresh. Kyle helped me move in. How does it feel? Like starting over. That's not a bad thing. No, it's not. Dean, Mike, and Alex came over the first night. Pizza, beer, normal conversation. Alex said you seem lighter. I am. Mike asked if I'd heard from Stephanie. No. Blocked her after that Saturday. Sarah arrived late. Saw Stephanie last week. How is she? Lost weight. Looks tired. Said she's in therapy twice a week. Good for her. She asked about you. What did you tell her? That you're doing well. Moving on. I nodded. I am. 2 months later, I was at Victrola coffee reading. Someone sat across from me. I looked up. Stephanie, before you leave. I'm not leaving. What do you want? She looked different. Thinner, clearer somehow. I'm not here to beg or plead or ask for another chance. Okay. I'm in therapy. Real therapy. And we've been working through why I did what I did. I stayed quiet. You were right. About all of it. I did compare you. I did settle. I did marry you because you were ready and Brad wasn't. And I spent 5 years trying to convince myself that was enough. Why are you telling me this? Because you deserve to hear the truth without desperation attached to it. You deserved that from the beginning. Yeah, I did. My therapist helped me understand something. I was so focused on what Brad represented, excitement, unpredictability, the chase, that I couldn't see what you actually were. Stable, loving, present. I mistook stability for boring. I mistook devotion for granted. And I destroyed the best thing I had because I was chasing a fantasy. I appreciate the honesty. But it doesn't change anything. I know. I'm not here for you to take me back. I'm here to release you from any guilt you might have. You did nothing wrong. This was all me. My issues, my damage, my loss. We sat in silence. I hope you find what you're looking for, I said. I found it. I just didn't know it until I lost it. She stood. Be well, Jordan. You too, Stephanie. She walked away. I watched her go. Felt nothing. Not anger, not sadness, not longing. Just nothing. And realized that's exactly how I should feel. She was my past. I was ready for my future. 3 months later, I was on my balcony with morning coffee, watching the water. Phone rang. Kyle. Drinks tonight? Can't. Got a date. A date? With who? Woman I met at the gym. Her name's Lauren. And she asked me out for coffee. Then dinner. Now we're seeing a concert tonight. She asked you out. Yeah. She chose me. First. No backup plan. No ex-boyfriend comparison. Just chose me. Kyle laughed. That's how it's supposed to work. Yeah, it is. After we hung up, I thought about the past months. The pain of discovery. The clarity of leaving. The strength of staying gone. I didn't regret the marriage. I learned what I didn't want. Learned what I deserved. Learned that being someone's second choice wasn't good enough. My phone buzzed. Lauren. Still on for tonight? Can't wait to see you. I smiled. Typed back. Absolutely. Me too. And meant it. Because this time I wasn't competing with anyone. This time I was someone's first choice. And that made all the difference. I never looked back. Not once. Because the woman who made me her backup plan taught me the most valuable lesson of my life. Never settle for someone who settled for you. And I never did again. Dear listeners, that's our ending. If it resonated, subscribe to support the channel. See you next time.